Michigan. Thank you. How's it going? I want to tell you a story now. My name's Sharmi Golson. I do media for this effort. I was in D.C. last week at the National Press Club. We had a press conference, Moms United to End the War on Drugs. We announced a partnership with cops, moms, and students to say no more drug war. So it was Moms United to End the War on Drugs, Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, and Students for Sensible Drug Policy. Nick Zattel spoke to you from these stairs a little while ago. He's one of the outgoing president of the University of Michigan Students for Sensible Drug Policy. I've never been to Washington, D.C. before. How many of you have been to our nation's capital? Let me see. And I was stunned by how fond we are of memorializing war. There are war memorials up and down the river. We build giant fountains and statues and buildings. We memorialize war. We love it. And I went into the Lincoln Memorial, and there he is. And he's got two of his speeches engraved on either wall across from him. And in his second inaugural address, carved in stone forever in the wall, are President Abraham Lincoln's words, and he said, "Fondly do we hope, fervently do we pray that this mighty scourge of war will speedily pass away." And trust me, the irony was not, I got the irony there, because it's been 50 years now, really 50 years of the longest running civil war our country has ever seen, a war on our own citizens. And these victims are not memorialized. There are no fountains built for them, no statues. They're hunted, they're vilified, and they're locked in cages. And I, as a mother, as just a person, as a woman, as a sister, as a daughter, I have had enough. That's why I'm standing here. It's why I'm so grateful for every one of you to come here and take the time out of your day and help us win this war, because we are going to win. We are not going away. They have done everything they can to us. They come into our houses, they take our stuff. We are the victims of this civil war. And quite frankly, I've just had it. So seeing you here, and I don't care how many of you are here, I really don't, because like I said, people are not leaving our movement, they're joining our movement. People had to work. I got so many phone calls and emails over the last couple of days with folks apologizing, saying they couldn't come. Of course they couldn't come. They've got to do their lives. But we're here today. We want your signatures. We want to make sure you're bringing them to us, giving them to us, getting new petitions, getting out there. Because like Reverend Steve said, when we get this on the ballot in November, the people of Michigan will pass this law. The people are way ahead of the politicians on this issue. Way ahead. And so as an angry mother, I am putting the government on alert. And I'm telling you, you are not doing this to my children. You're not doing this to anyone else's children or mother or grandchildren or father anymore. Because we are going to continue to fight, and we're going to stand up for what's right, and we're going to get up early in the morning even though we want to stay in that bed. And when we're exhausted, like Denise said, I'm going to hand it to Tom. I'm going to call Tom Levine and say, "I'm so tired, Tom. Are we ever going to win?" And he says, "Yes, Sharmi, we're going to win." I think you should hear from Tom Levine. This is our policy director for the Committee for a Safer Michigan. Come on up here, my friend. Talk to the people.
Fellow revolutionaries, here we come. We've heard stories. As an attorney with Cannabis Council, there's 4 of us attorneys, so people call in with their legal problems, and as they're being raided, the dog's been shot, the children are scared. They've broke down our doors. They've taken our children. We're fed up to here with this. We battle it out in the courts. We lobby the legislature. But there's a strange, invisible phenomenon that keeps perpetuating this. But we are pulling back the curtain every day. We are revealing the truth to the people. And the truth will set us free. Now we're energized. We've circled here today. We'll circle this state from now to July 9th to end prohibition, to end it here in Michigan. And we will begin the end on a federal level. That is the direction which we are taking with purpose, and we shall not stop. Now, I gotta share a terrible story with you. The Duvals down in Monroe County. Operation Hemp comes up with helicopters overhead. The Operation Hemp agents advise these patients, will lock it up, be sure that it's even more locked than it is, and post your licenses on the gates. They followed every direction provided. Everything. Fully compliant caregivers registered under the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act, under their numbers in their plants, under their weight. But the federal jury was instructed the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act is no defense, that it is on this controlled substances schedule. And there's where the fraud is. It has medicinal purpose. We've witnessed it. We're curing ourselves with it. And they will not get in the way. We will continue to cure ourselves with cannabis. We are now juicing cannabis, which has zero psychoactive effect, by the way. The plant itself has zero psychoactive effect, by the way. It's only when you light it a fire does it rock our world. And what's wrong with that? Afraid of a little euphoria? I don't think so. How many thousands of years of proof do they need? How many thousands of stories? Are they deaf? Are they deaf in this house? They are deaf. Deaf of their conscious, unconscious, disconnected from the people. The people are out here suffering, and they refuse to witness it. Well, we are here today as witnesses. We are here today with grievances to this government apparatus. How dare they spread the word to law enforcement that there's no card, no dice, and at the same time delay the mailing of cards. 10 months. Sometimes they've delayed the mailing of the plastic cards until after it was expired. Now they have something up on the website. Oh, if you haven't received your card yet, call here. And when you call there, they say, oh, we're not going to bother to mail it to you at all. The level of absurdity is absurd. And we reject their deafness to our pleas. These are our children we are protecting. They joke amongst themselves. Even in this federal trial, the judge, the prosecutors, the AUSA, they were joking about the marijuana, that, oh, should we leave it in the courtroom? Oh, I wouldn't mind a little of that, you know, this sort of thing. It's that undertone of joking around. Call them out on that shit. Call them out on their shit wherever they land. We are a strong people. We come together across the political spectrum as freedom fighters, standing for personal freedoms. These personal freedoms are ours. This is our body we are healing. How dare they get in the way? Yet these judges continue to practice medicine without a license. That is a crime in Michigan. These prosecutors cross-examine these doctors that they drag in and force the doctors to close their office for the whole day. Another tactic of theirs to discourage doctors. And then they cross-examine the doctors and they say, why aren't you prescribing them Vicodin or Oxycodone? Why? Who do they represent? Big Pharma? Big prison? Big lumber? Big paper? Just think. Had we been making paper alone for the last 75 years, which we've stacked to the moon, out of hemp, instead of clear-cutting old-growth forests, we would not be in the global warming state that we find ourselves in today. Think of the other things, the packaging. I practiced law in Hawaii for 5 years. We fought for the protection of the rainforest there and the oceans. And what we fought there was plastic everywhere in the ocean. It comes together in these big, huge, mammoth balls of plastic. Pollute our oceans and kill the wildlife in our oceans. Had we been making packaging out of hemp instead of plastic, we wouldn't have that problem right there. The examples are too numerous for me to go through. Building materials, the flooring of our buildings. You don't even need the chemical binder. Hemp has its own binding agent, we all know that. How cool is that with the resin? Stronger than these other materials, ecologically sustainable, because hemp packaging is biodegradable, and as a food source, please. Here we are. I'm born in Detroit. Detroit City has been malnourishing the population for decades. There's hardly any good food stores, and it's a known problem that's endemic in the system. And yet they cut down this vital source of nutrition everywhere it grows. They hunt it down with helicopters, spending our tax dollars for what? Why are they not rescuing our children who are being trafficked in the international sex trade? These girls remain missing on every neighborhood. And what are the police doing? They're not solving these problems. The priorities must change. We will force this. We will force the change of this enforcement priority that is being followed. In this we stand strong together, and we shall not give in, not 1 inch. So let's get out there and collect some freaking signatures and get to work, people. Let's ramp it up. Let's get to work, people. All right.